Right. There you go.
All right. So I think
You think you're ready now
for the first
the first day of school.
You're right. It's the first day of school. Okay, we gotta prepare, I guess. All right. Ready to go now. So, welcome to the year of 2020, where we will be doing a virtual hybrid learning school and classroom. So I'm sure you guys are well aware that you're not sitting in a classroom in front of me, and you're probably at home in your PJs still, and that's okay. We're all gonna figure it out. I'm a new teacher. Some of you guys are new students this year. We're all new to this brand new version of school, and we're gonna figure it out together. This video is my attempt at recreating some of the things that you would have normally gotten on the first day of school. So we're going to go over our syllabus and some of the expectations that I have for you guys. I'm Miss Leonard. You can call me Ms. L or Leonard. I'll respond to all three. My pronouns are she and her. And I do have a basset hound that will occasionally be interrupting our filming, but it's fine. We're going to get through this, whether it be a basset hound or a plague. We will find a way to still accomplish our educational goals this year. So here we go. So this semester we are going to be studying U.S. history from 1860s to present day, but instead of doing it chronologically like you would in a normal class, we're doing this survey edition. So that means we're going to be studying history through themes. We're going to have 5 themes for 5 units. The first is political power and civil liberty. The next is economic power, then foreign affairs, and then our last 2 units are going to be on the dominant culture, and then lastly, the counterculture. So why are we doing it this way, Miss Leonard, you might ask? Well, the reason why we're studying it thematically rather than chronologically is because we are going to be practicing the skills that are needed to look at historical events and understand why they're happening and how we might do things differently for the future. So in order to practice that skill of comparing and contrasting and analyzing, we're going to be starting with current events and ending with current events, so that by the end of the unit, you should be able to explain to me why the news is reporting on things the way they are, why it's important, and how we might do things differently in the future, so, the world might be a better place. So, just so you guys are aware, there are 2 different blocks of US survey. There is a block 3 and a block 4. We are going to be meeting Monday and Tuesday, and then Thursday and Friday, if you're in block 3, at 11:35. And then on Wednesday, we'll be meeting via Zoom at 10:45. And then block 4, you guys are going to be meeting with me at 2:10 on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and then Wednesday at 11:40. If that's confusing, it's okay. We'll figure it out. Welcome to 2020, which is the year of Zoom, if you haven't already heard. So the first thing that I want to make sure that we talk about when we're talking about Zoom is that we are going over expectations for what you should be doing when you're not physically sitting in front of me in class. So the first is that just like you would in school, you should be showing up on time. So make sure you're setting an alarm clock so that you're actually going to be ready for class when you need to be ready. And then the next part is that you really need to make sure that you are presentable for class. So you need to be wearing a shirt, please. You don't need to be dressed to the nines, but I do kind of want to make sure that you are covered and dressed appropriately for your peers and myself to be seeing. The other thing is I would like you guys to enter into your Zoom chats with your mics on mute, and that you are also trying your very best to find a location that is quiet and devoid of extra distractions. So if you have a slobbery basset hound that's whining at your feet, kind of make sure that he's over off to the other side in his dog bed. Also, because we're doing class via Zoom, I really, really want you guys to do your very best to treat it like you would class. So if I ask you a question, I would really appreciate some people answering. The whole Zoom silence thing is probably not going to work very well if we want to get anything done discussion-wise. So when you show up to Zoom, make sure you are ready to participate the same way you would in class. So, if you haven't heard, there is this little thing called COVID-19 that is going around and that has drastically changed a lot of the expectations that I have for you guys while you are physically sitting in front of me in class. One of which is that at all times you should be wearing a mask that is covering both your nose and your mouth so that we are not breathing in the same air or distributing water molecules all over desks and surfaces. So if you are ever at any point in time feeling overwhelmed or like you can't breathe, just raise your hand and we will do our best to fix it so you don't feel as stressed. That might mean that we go outside for a little bit or, you sit closer to a window. The next is that when we are in class, the desks are going to remain 6 feet apart at all times and we all have to try facing the same way as much as possible. In order to kind of shake things up a little bit, I'm going to make sure that we have some opportunities to stand and to sit so that you don't feel like a statue. Next, weather permitting, we're going to try to go outside as much as possible, either for walks or to sit down and kind of have a old world sort of School of Athens type situation, minus the togas. And when we do that, I ask that you guys remain physically distant at all times, meaning no contact whatsoever with anybody else in the class. We are going to keep our masks on until we are at least 6 feet away from each other, and I'll try to remember to bring out the yardstick as well. We're going to always stay together as a group. And then you also need to do your best to remain focused at all times during class because I get very easily distracted by squirrels, so one of us needs to be paying attention. You are also welcome to leave blankets to sit on or sweatshirts or jackets in my classroom if you want to use those. So if it is a little bit chilly, you can have an extra layer. And then lastly, if you are ever feeling ill at any point in class, I ask that you remain at your desk in your seat with your mask on, and I will call down to the nurse's office to reserve you a spot in line, and they will let us know when they are ready to receive you. Now here's what you really wanted to know. How I grade. So here at BUHS, we have a numeric grading system, meaning you get like a 100 or an 85, and then we also have proficiency grading. I tend to grade assignments based on points, so you'll get an assignment like a homework assignment and it might be worth 10 points, and that's how you get the grade. I don't do any sort of weird weighing of grades. The proficiencies are something that you do in all of your courses. We have 4 of them. They are listed at the very bottom of the syllabus, and they usually pertain to historical skills relating to the course. The next thing we have are how grades, which are habits of work, and this is where, I will let your parents know or your guardians know whether or not you are showing up to Zoom on time with your shirt on. And then lastly, we do have a retake policy here at BUHS. My goal in teaching is not to see you fail, it's actually to have you be successful. So if you bomb something, you are going to have an opportunity to retake it. I ask that if you get an 80 or better on your assignments that you are not retaking them, because this is really designed to help the students who are struggling and not, for whatever reason, getting the grade that they want to have. So instead of having to retake the whole course, they retake one assignment that they didn't do so well on. But like I said, my goal here is to have you be successful and to feel like you have learned and accomplished something. So if you're struggling and you don't understand something or you're getting really frustrated about how your grades are turning out, please come talk to me and we will figure out how to help you be successful together. So, you are probably sitting at home right now and not in school. In fact, I know you are because you're watching this video. But that does not mean that I am not taking attendance today. So, when you are at home on Monday and not in school, because that is how our hybrid system is working this year, I will still be taking attendance. You will still get an assignment that you will need to turn into me today. by 4:45, and then the rest of the time I am still taking attendance, although probably on Zoom. So you need to be making sure that you are showing up to class on time and ready to go. Just because we are doing a hybrid system this year and you are still going to be at home and not physically present in school does not mean we won't be paying attention to whether or not you are in class. So at this point, I would also direct you to look at the electronics policy because you guys are not supposed to be on your phones texting or messing around on TikTok or anything while we're supposed to be in class. But I want you to read that in the syllabus. What I really, really want to talk about right now is one word, all right? And it's honesty. You guys are probably at home in your pajama pants, and that's okay. But what I think is really important for you and I to understand is that we have an honest and open communication with each other. Cheating and plagiarism, meaning copying somebody else's work, is not okay. When you guys take tests at home and do schoolwork at home, I am trusting you to be doing it honestly and doing it to the best of your ability. I don't need to know that Merriam-Webster knows the definition because it's a dictionary. That's what it's supposed to do. My job is to make sure that you have actually learned something, and I'm not going to be able to gauge that appropriately if you're copying somebody else's work. Like I said before with grading, I need to see you succeed and you learn. And the only way that I can make sure that you're doing that is if you are being honest with me and I am being honest in my desire to help you. So I know this isn't the same as being in, the classroom on your first day of school, and I know this isn't the same as me, jabbering on about the syllabus, but I hope that this provides you with some clarification about what we're actually going to be doing this year. Again, I'm sorry that we can't be sitting here in person doing this, but the most important thing that I need you to take away from this video, above all else, is that I do not want you to suffer in silence. If you have any questions or concerns, please ask for help. Email me. We can set up a Zoom, we can set up a phone call, we can just email back and forth, whatever works for you. Just please ask if you need something.